three things I'd like corporates to take back to their boards are to do with culture, succession and governance. I think on culture, it's important that the boards lead the culture within the organisation. They need to get assurance on that culture, and they need to know that the culture is actually delivering the company's strategy. On succession, I would say that it's something that we focused on at the FRC last year. Succession is clearly very important in building a diverse board. Diversity is extremely important to avoid groupthink, and succession you need to look deeper through the organisation, through the layers of management, seeing that you're developing talent appropriately. In terms of governance, the board structure is clearly very important. The committee structure is important. The people you have on the committees, extremely important. That needs to be delivered through good succession planning. I'd also say that in terms of governance, you need to look at your relationships with a wider range of stakeholders.
So in terms of considerations by boards, I would encourage boards to consider the broader matters that may impact the long-term performance of the company, such as employees. I would also encourage boards to take an active interest in concise reporting and ensuring that the annual report as a whole is fair, balanced and understandable. Preparers should be thinking about disclosing the various sources of value that drive their company performance over the longer term and will ultimately contribute to the long-term success of the company.
I think I would encourage companies to start experimenting with different digital formats. There are opportunities to work with companies, with technology companies, to think about how technology can be used to tell the story in a more effective way, and also to tell the story to a wider set of stakeholders.
I think the opportunity is for companies to tell their story. The challenge is to tell the story in an efficient and effective way that will engage investors, that will engage stakeholders, and engage all those other people that read the annual report.
So I think the biggest opportunity is regaining trust that very clearly been lost in a lot of businesses. Trust is not a political issue. Trust is a very basic tenet that everybody can understand. I think we need to be really, really clear about what we're trying to get out of any reform and make sure that we stay true to the principles.
I think what is evident is that corporate reporting can play an important role in not only helping organisations communicate how they create and deliver value, which I think is a very important part of evidencing their licence to operate, particularly if it takes into account the value that they deliver to all stakeholders.
So from a reporting perspective, I think it's going to be interesting to see how the upcoming changes to the Corporate Governance Code will impact reporting. I suspect that what we'll see is that reporting will be more structured around the principles and less structured, as has been the case in the past, around the provisions.
Actually, I think one of the key themes coming out of today was really that idea of integration and better connectivity in terms of approach to reporting. So there was a lot of emphasis on not looking just at the strategic report in isolation, but how the strategic report sits with the governance report, sits with the director's report, and sits with the financial statements. And that was a reoccurring theme, I think, that's very important for preparers to take away moving forward as they approach their reporting, this reporting season.
Well, first of all, I'm really excited about the increased focus on stakeholders in governance and reporting, as we have heard from the FRC. In fact, stakeholder engagement and discussion of impacts have been integral elements of sustainability reporting. So I think corporate secretaries, investor relations managers should talk to their own sustainability people how to make stakeholder engagement mainstream and tell a cohesive, integrated corporate story.